deal with the son, the wayward son, the son that got beside himself and decided that he didn't want to be under dad's house no more. Come on. But today I want to talk about the father. First of all, there's a difference between a real father and a biological one. Any man can be a biological father, but every biological father is not a real father. So today I want to talk about the characteristics of a real father. Now, number one, he's a provider of the family. The father is supposed to be the master of the house. He is the one that is answerable to God for the well-being of his family. We are living in a day and hour now when this is not the case. You guys, God still got some good men. Men that, amen, that know their position as a father. They realize that they are the provider of the family. And they stand accountable to God. Let me tell y'all something today. It is hard today because of the day now we're living in. Society have looked like diminished the role of the father. And you got, amen, women today that don't want, amen, to be submissive to the master of the house. Come on. The father is in charge of every decision that should be made in the house. Amen, he should be the one that provides for his family. He's a working man, a man that has a job. We got a lot of lazy men today. Come on, men that won't work, men that don't want to work. But I'm talking about a real father, the one that will provide for his family. This young man, he recognized something, that his daddy was a good example of a real father. He recognized that his daddy not only provided for them, but provided for the servants also. Everybody had food to eat. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, but if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he have denied the faith. It is worse than, if, in other words, amen, a real father takes care of his family. You should have to rely on welfare and all your social programs. Amen. If you lay down to play, you ought to pay. Come on. Now, we got a lot of deadbeat dads. Deadbeat dads. They have failed that family in every way. Do not provide for them. I don't know, but I look back and I thank God that God blessed us with 3 children. And we stayed together. We didn't put our children in daycare. Either my wife took care of them or I took care of them. What we don't seem to realize, if you're not a real dad, your children suffer. And they pay a big price. We got a lot of children today that the dad is not even home. He's not around to nurture that child. Come on. I'm talking about a real father now. Number two, he provides an inheritance for his children. I said provides an inheritance for his children. Proverbs 13 and 22a, the very first part of it, says, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children. So if you, amen, are a father, you ought to make plans for your children. Not for your, but for your grandchildren. A good father wants to leave an inheritance for his children, both physical and spiritual. When I think about the day that we're living in now, children need to see their father praying. They need to hear them praying. They need to see an example, especially young boys. They need to see how the father treats the mother, so they will know how to treat young girls. Come on. This man was a real father. He provided for his sons, and he left his oldest son with a double portion, which was according to the law. But the youngest son wanted his inheritance. Sometimes children don't want to wait. But the question is, what kind of inheritance are you landing up for your children? We got to recognize something today, and we recognize that sons, our children, have a right to choose their own path. You can't choose a path for your children. You can't do it. I don't care how much you try, amen, you cannot, amen, choose the path for your children. The hardest thing to do is to let our children make their own decisions. That's a hard thing. There used to be a program come on TV that said, Father knows best. Sometimes we do know what's best. And a real father can look up the road and see what you're going to be facing up the road. But whether you know it or not, we've still got to allow them to choose their own path. God allows us to choose our path. He shall set before you life and death, good and evil. You make the choice. If we choose the wrong path, we must pay the price. Hope that it will bring us to our senses. Let me tell you one thing. God got a way of, amen, dealing with all of us. A lot of times, amen, as I've said before, you have the right to make the choice you make. But you ain't got the right to choose the consequence. And there will be consequences. Come on. When we look at this young boy, he made a choice. He left home and went into a far country. Far into sin as a person could go. Wasted his inheritance. Sitting in a pig pen, eating the scraps. Now I want to let you know this is the place sin will ultimately lead. But there's always a way out. I thank God for knowing that today.